I'm Joanna Penn from the creativepenn.com, and today we're talking about something very important, which is getting a professional editor for your work. Now, this is something that's right on my mind at the moment because I'm about to send my first novel, Pentecost, to my editor. So why should you get a professional editor in the first place? Well, what is, I guess, really exciting about it is that they are there to improve your work. Now, we all want to put the best book we can into the world, whether it's non-fiction or fiction, and an editor can help you do that. And because they don't actually care about you in a personal sense, then they can actually be objective about your manuscript and give you the best tips possible to improve your book. So that's the first reason, really, that we all want to improve our work. Professional editors also get to read a lot of manuscripts, which means they can pick up things that you won't pick up or an amateur won't pick up. So yes, you can give your book to your mum or your husband or a friend who's a writer, but they won't have enough experience to really bring out the things that you need for your book. So an editor, for example, will pick out things about your plot and about the genre that you need to include, or if it's non-fiction, about your structure. These are critical to getting your book in the best place it's got to be to get out there. Now, many people will say that they don't want to pay for a professional editor because that's something the publishing house will do. But actually, that's changing. In the market now, you have to submit the best book you possibly can in order to get an agent's attention or to get the attention of a publishing house. And if you're self-publishing, then it's even more important to get a professional editor because that is the person who's going to make your book the best it's going to be. So for both of those reasons, everybody needs a professional editor. So what will the editor actually do for you? Well, there's a couple of options. What I'm doing, my first round of editing, well, I've done several edits myself, but I'm going to get an editorial review, and that editorial review is basically a story view of my novel, and it will basically look at character, plot, holes. It will say the things that are good about the manuscript and the things that are not, and ways I can make it more publishable and more effective in the genre, because it's basically a popular thriller novel. It's not literary fiction, it's popular thriller fiction. So this editor knows that genre and will be able to point me in the right direction of things I need to improve. That's an editorial review, so it's more like a number of pages of description about things you can do. Then there's the copy editing, or what's called line editing, which is when they actually look at individual lines and they, maybe sentence structure, grammar, continuity. So if you've changed things throughout the book, all of that is more copy editing, and that's often more expensive because obviously they have to go through every single line. So what I'm doing is going through an editorial review first and then coming back and getting copy editing later once I've actually finished improving the book. So those are a couple of the options. There are also, proofreaders and other types of editing. For example, if your book is technical, you can get a technical edit, but all of those different things are offered by editors, and you can search them out for your individual book. So how do you actually find an editor? Well, I found mine on Twitter, which isn't surprising. I spend a lot of time there. But basically, I follow a lot of publishing people, a lot of people in the book industry, and asked for some recommendations, got a few. Then I looked at their blogs and their websites, found a guy I resonated with. Then I emailed a few of them, asked them some questions about the genre, etc., and finally chose one that I thought would suit my book. Now, I haven't actually sent my novel in yet. That's at the end of the month, so we'll see what happens with that. I'll do another video later. But you need to find someone who's experienced in your genre. You also need to book them in advance. So I was looking for an editor about a month ago for the end of next month. So essentially, a lot of them are very busy. You have to book your time and make sure they have time to actually fit you in. So you can look on Twitter, you can look for blogs by editors, you can ask industry people, and if you just search on editors, you'll find a stack. It's really important to look around though and find an expert in your genre. Okay, so I hope you've convinced you that you need a professional editor for your book, whether it's fiction or non-fiction, and also whether you are self-publishing or looking for a traditional publisher. It's all very important. So thank you. I'm Joanna Penn from the creativepenn.com.